Patrick Roy.
The best.
Is he really as crazy as he seems?
Like Patrick, like you would love this, because I just tell people, be careful what you ask, because he'll answer. Sometimes, like he puts his balls on the line.
When you got traded, how was that experience? Now, was that a mutual?
I asked.
How you asked?
Yeah. So, like I was talking earlier, how the struggles had been, for quite a while, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in terms of my hockey career. Is asked to leave Boston, call Harry Sinden. He was at the general managers meetings in Florida, and I called him and I said, Harry, I said, I've decided that I've got to go somewhere to compete, to put myself in a different environment, to see if I, first of all, if I still got it, and to try to win again, or to compete to win, to get somewhere, to have hope that a team, we could get somewhere. So I told him I wanted to go to Philadelphia. I didn't want to go in the Western Conference. I was, at the time, we were building our big house here in Boston, and I wanted to be able to commute, come back when the schedule allowed me to. And I thought Philadelphia, looking at the Eastern Conference, had the best opportunity. And I made that very clear to Harry. And he was like, okay, I hear you. And I knew Reggie Lemlin was a goalie for the Bruins. That is one of my best friends. That he was goalie coach for the Flyers. So I knew everything that was going on their side. And I thought I knew what was going on my side. And it just happened that there was more teams involved at the end. And I knew this because I'm having dinner one night with my agent and my wife, and Steve Casper and his wife, and René Angelil calls me, Celine Dion's husband back in the day.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember how he spoke. Hey, Raymond, comment ça va? C'est René. Do you remember me? We played golf together in Montreal. And I'm like, yeah, René. Yeah, I remember, because him and Pierre Lacroix, the general manager for the Avs, were best friends. They grew up together. They talked every day. And he says, Pierre does not know I'm calling you. He says, I hear you might get traded. Colorado would be an amazing place. And so I'm like, yeah, right. Pierre doesn't know you're calling me, right? We talk every day. So anyways, I knew Colorado was involved. Dave Ellett played for St. Louis back then, that had played with the Bruins. He called me, says, St. Louis would like to know if you'd come to St. Louis. I'm like, that's not where I want to go. I knew New Jersey was involved. Detroit was involved. So I knew there was other teams involved. So we were playing the Flyers some after Saturday afternoon game, the last game I played with the Bruins. And Reggie Lemlin in the morning says, Ray, it's a done deal. You'll be coming to Philly. So I'm like, great. So the puck ends. I'm on the ice. The end of the game, and the puck's just rolling right for me, and the buzzer goes off. So I pick up the puck, and I'm like, okay. So I got the puck for the last game. I played with the Bruins and all that stuff. So then after the game, I'm looking for Harry Sinden. I think it's a done deal. I can't reach Harry. Ended up calling me later that night. Says, sit tight. There's other teams involved. I said, you know where I want to go? He says, yeah, but we'll see. He says, don't come to the rink Sunday if it's not done by tomorrow. If it's not done by the next day, don't come. We're playing Ottawa on the Monday. He says, stay away from the rink till it's done. So he calls me. I get a call later that night at the end of the Senators game, telling me that I'm going to Colorado. But in warm up that night, Dave Andrechuk was pulled off the ice in warm up, and he calls me. He says, Ray, they just pulled me off the ice. I'm probably going with you. Where are we going? I said, I have no clue, Dave. I haven't heard nothing yet. So we both end up going to Colorado together. So it was an amazing, I've never played with so many French guys in my life. And the whole, because, Quebec Nordiques that's a team in 96 that moved to Denver to become the Avalanche. And they won the cup in 96. The first year they were there, they were ready to pop. When they moved from Quebec, they were friggin' ready to roll. And so they won the cup there. Then they competed. They got to the semis pretty much every year, but could never really get over the hump till 2001. So that's how the deal went down.
So you get traded, and earlier in the interview you go, this was the best team I ever played for. Now, how is that dynamic going when you're a fucking legend? Everyone knows you as Mr. Bruin. You're the Boston Bruins. Okay, you're the captain of the Boston Bruins. How was it going in and recalibrating yourself to a new locker room? Because that's tough. I don't know if I could do that. I didn't leave like after like 10 years because I didn't want to go and learn new people. I didn't want to learn a new system. That's a very big thing, especially when you've been in somewhere for 20 plus years. You know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like being a rookie again in a little bit of a facet, which is completely different because you're Ray Bourque and but you're learning guys for the first time in an uncomfortable environment that you've never been in. How was that dynamic?
Well, walking into that room, first of all, was really weird.
Were you like Banks when you had joined Mighty Ducks from
I'd
the
have to
District
watch that
5
again.
team? He was this Banks.
I was asked to play in that movie just to come. They had a cameo of I think Luke Robitaille and I don't know who the other guy was, but there's two guys, and I was asked. I'm like, I'm not flying to LA for that. But I got to Calgary. So Dave and I took the plane at 7 a.m. on the Tuesday morning. We're playing in Calgary that night. So they sent a plane for us. It couldn't have been the smallest jet that you've ever had. We had to stop in Kansas City to refuel. And we're both in he's 6'4", and I'm 6, but we're like this in a plane, all friggin' bundled up with our equipment, our sticks, our clothes. And it's like, it was so uncomfortable. We get to Calgary around 2 p.m. their time, and then we have a little press conference, a quick bite to eat. I try to sleep for maybe an hour or whatever. I can't sleep, so I end up at the rink at 4 o'clock. I'm first guy at the rink. I walk in, and right there is 77 and an Avalanche jersey. It was so friggin' weird, man.
Yeah.
It was weird. And then as the guys come in, I greeted everybody at the door and introduced myself. And but they got me for my play, but they also got me, I think, more for leadership and what I brought in other areas as well. Because talent, they had, they needed maybe another voice in there as well. But when I talk about talent, I mean, this team, the first game I'm playing, I'm behind the net, and I'm like, okay, so I come out, Milan Haydu comes across in our zone. I friggin' rip a pass right on his tape. Now he gets it, and all in one motion, he rips it to Joe Sakic going up the middle on a breakaway. He scores. I'm like, geez.
It's fun.
I think this is going to be fun. But then I get to Colorado. We play in Calgary, we play in Edmonton, and then we go back to Colorado. And I got like 3 friggin' suitcases and luggage and all that stuff. And I'm staying at the Marriott Residence Inn. I'm on the 3rd floor, no elevator. So I'm walking 3 flights of stairs. I thought I was going to die. I'm in the elevation, and I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be different. And but you train there, you play there, you practice there, and what an advantage to be able to play there. And then you go to sea level and play some of these games.
Was it 5,280? It's about a mile, right?
Yeah.
They'd always have those little altitude meters. I hated going to Denver.
Yeah,
not just I didn't feel the altitude. I just hated fucking Denver.
Oh, you could never win there.
You can never win there,
except for that one game. So I go to a Patriots game. I'm in a box with a whole bunch.
We got to get you at every fucking game, right?
I go to the game with my 2 boys that are huge Patriots fan, right? So Chris is 15 and Ryan's 10, and Patriots killed them that game.
What year?
This is 2001.
Yeah, this is before.
Yeah. So they kill him, and every time Patriots score, my kids are going nuts, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Boys, down, easy. But hey, sorry. I'm like they're 10
kids.
and 15.
Yeah, they're kids. Let's do word association with the Avalanche, and we'll jump into the game. Let's do some dude talk. I'll give you a name. You give me one word. Joe Sakic.
Hart Trophy.
Hart Trophy.
Most valuable player that year.
Hart Trophy.
Amazing.
Patrick Roy.
The best.
Is he really as crazy as he seems?
Like Patrick, like you would love this because I just tell people, be careful what you ask because he'll answer. Sometimes like he puts his balls on a line. Like he'll say shit that, but he needs it. Like that's how he rolls, right?
Yeah.
Like he challenges himself by some of the stuff he says because okay, now I got to friggin' back it up, right? And he does. And that's not done by many.
I was never that kind of guy either.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, I mean, I think you could.
No, I would talk during game, but I would never before game ever like give fuel to fire because you know how there's so many variables that take place in a team sport.
Like I wouldn't even friggin' yap much because I'm like, I know it's going to come against me.
Yeah.
Like there's this one kid that come to me every time I'd play him and he'd be right in my face, says, Bourque, you're so fucking overrated. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what does that make you? I said, I'm overrated. Who are you?
Sounds like Sean Avery.
I was just going to say, it was
probably Sean.
No, it wasn't.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. What about Peter Forsberg?
A Viking, man. Oh my God. He was so stubborn. Like Peter would try to, and he could sometimes like beat three guys. And it's like, and I go, Pete, I said, move the puck. I promise I'll give it right back. You don't have to take that physicality, get hit or hit guys. He says, no, Ray. He says, I love it. I got to do this. I'm like, okay. But he would just, man, what a moose. But you could get under his skin though. Because if you're, like, I remember playing against him and because I knew how he played, and then you're like right in his face all the time and he'd go cuckoo. What a player.
Psychological battles you guys have. What about Rob Blake?
A monster, monster defender, and a great offensive talent. Rob, his physicality. When he had you lined up, man. I played in the Olympics. He was my partner in the Olympics, and I'm stepping up on somebody.
What's that mean, partner in the Olympics?
So we're defense partners. Okay. So we're playing together. Like he's on the right side, I'm on the left side. We're defense twosome, So there's 2D, 3 forwards, and a goalie. But so he was my partner, and I'm stepping up on a forward coming to me, and I got my stick out like this. All of a sudden, I see him. He's coming, and he's got his ass is coming right. I get my arm out of there. My arm would have snapped and like this.
Yeah.
If I don't see him last second, but he would, like Scott Stevens would hit guys in the middle of the ice. Rob could do that, and he had a bomb for a shot. And a classy guy, such a good teammate.
Wow. What about Chris Drury?
Chris Drury, a gamer. Always scoring big goals. When it was important for us to score a goal, he was the guy scoring it. Like always at the perfect time.
Little League World Series champion.
Little League World Series champion. Out of what city? I remember.
Trumbull, Connecticut.
Yes.